Ah, yes, indeed. Hello, and welcome to the Two Button Brass Excerpt Challenge Extraordinaire. This week we'll be listening to a bit of Mozart. I'm your host, Alex Melzer. Okay, no, but for real. The reason why I chose Tuba Mirum as our excerpt for this week is because it's kind of the trombone excerpt. Every audition I've taken, it's round 1, excerpt 1. So we would kind of be doing a disservice to the YouTube community if we didn't include Tuba Mirum on our excerpt challenge series. So for those of you who are new, here are the rules. My friends each have 5 minutes to work through the piece, learn it to the best of their ability, and then they get one take to play it down. And whoever does the best wins the excerpt challenge bragging rights. Those are a big deal. We don't take that lightly around here. That being said, here are the things that I'm going to be listening for. Well, me and Oliver. We're going to be listening for, number 1, time. Time. I cannot stress how important time is in this excerpt. People will get cut because the rests aren't in time with this excerpt. I like to feel it somewhere around 80 to 84 beats a minute. I know that's a little bit fast, but it's also marked in cut time. So I tend to think that it flows a little bit better felt in 2 rather than in 4. A good way to pick out that tempo is to think Halo by Beyonce.
I got my angel now. It's like I've been...
That is your tip for Tuba Mirum. Number 2, intonation. We're going to be listening for intonation. It's round 1, excerpt 1, so in time and in tune is going to be the name of the game. It's in a pretty friendly key, so I'm not super worried about the intonation, but it is something that we have to be wary of. You can't play Tuba Mirum out of tune. Number 3, style. It's a duet with a baritone, but it was also written long before composers were using the types of articulation markings that we're used to seeing as brass players. So there's like no dynamics on the page, and there's not really any articulation markings. So I'm expecting my friends to do a bit of research and understand how to play the context of the piece. For those of you that haven't heard the piece, here's a take that I did for a pre-screening a while back. Have a listen, and then let's get started. Ah, yes. Cool, so first up, we got Svend. A little concerned about that mic placement. Maybe he'll move it, though maybe not. We'll see. That mic is very off axis, so he's not going to move the mic. I'm marking you off for your mic placement.
I personally love this piece.
Me too.
And I love that you gave us a lyric excerpt. We were playing a lot of quick notes, a lot of high, a little low, a lot of everything, and this is just simple melody.
Bit of a change of pace from
Go ahead and
Ronald McDifficult. It's a little different. Man, I don't care about the squeaky chair, just put the mic in the right place. We're going to focus on the music. So I like that he's already singing. I mean, it's a lyrical excerpt, no doubt.
I have to use my third valve and all the E's, or all the concert D's.
Okay, so he's mindful of the intonation. There's a little bit of push and pull that you can do in that line. Because there's just some really juicy harmonies in there. I have to compliment Svend for this. He only misses a note once. in his practice sessions. At least in this particular practice session. Like, he'll flub it, he'll recognize it, go back, fix it. Some notes there, bud.
Tuba Mirum.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear some Tuba Mirum. Okay. So much slower all of a sudden.
I hope you enjoyed it, Alex. I definitely did. I love this piece. Thank you so much for putting it in front of me. I hope you have a fantastic
I'm glad to hear it.
day. See you later.
So cordial, so nice. What a guy. Okay, so here's the thing. Svend had a really fast opening. The rest were in tempo, mostly. But he didn't play all the sections at the same tempo. Like, he started out real quick, then he really stretched it. There was a little bit of a tendency to be on the sharp side. But the style was pretty good. The tempo. If you don't have the same tempo for all of those individual little discrete sections, it shows me that you don't have like a concept of like the larger. That's kind of brutal. But yeah, it's just that the subdivision isn't there. It was more. I can tell that Svend was more thinking about the lyrical playing and the musicality of it, which really came across. It's just that the time wasn't quite consistent. So I'm gonna make some notes here, and then we're gonna move on to Skib. Next up, we have Mr. Skib. Let's hear it.
What's up, Alex? I'm super psyched for this challenge. We don't tend to play a lot of lyrical stuff so far in these challenges, so I think this will be a nice change of pace.
Yeah, Svend said the same thing.
Different performing with a singer throughout
He's
this.
done his research.
So I'm gonna try and do which I like better.
That's an interesting thought. So we are really trying to imitate what valves do with trombone
deceivingly difficult
when we're playing legato. I guess I would suggest trying to play it as smooth as possible regardless. I could definitely use a bit more beef on that opening figure. Yeah, you can kind of push and pull a little bit. I think the consistency of tempo is pretty important, though. And I noticed that he's articulating everything. He's taking it a little on the slower side. And I think he loses a little bit of flow that way. I like how he was playing the beginning of this line, kind of stretching towards the A flats just a little bit. I swear, the amount of time that I have spent on the first three measures.
I fly so quick with these things. My goodness. Okay.
Never enough. Talk him a little on time for that. I liked that. A little bit of bounce there. And I just completely talked over that, and I didn't count his wrist.
Okay, well, I gave it my all.
Hey, that was pretty good. Thanks for playing. Okay, so Skib played this one very conservatively, and there were still a few. Notes. There's still a few clams here and there. The opening figure was in time, and that's something that a lot of people goof up. However, the rest in the measure after that was way too long, and he came back in on the arpeggio at a significantly slower tempo. So, man, this is a deceptively difficult excerpt. I'm starting to realize it's hard to be mean to people. All right, let's see what Cameron's got. All right, so last up we have Mr. Cameron Holt.
Hey dude, I got the Tuba Mirum excerpt.
Props for the shirt.
It was a tuba excerpt, but I will be playing it on tuba, so there you go. But yeah, no.
The funny thing is that tuba in Latin means trumpet,
I thought it would be. I hadn't really heard
and it's
this
played
before,
on trombone.
So I thought it was 5 minutes on the timer.
But that's true. It's not overstated. It is very
4 minutes, 59 seconds
lyrical.
on the
You are
timer.
in duet with
And
another voice.
away we go.
Yeah, he did the same thing that I always do at the beginning of my 5 minutes. Just get that first note really centered. Just get the tone going. The push and pull. Yep. You got the right notes. Intonation's a little slow for my taste. I mean, it is in cut time. His musicality, though, always amazes me. Cameron is such an expressive player. Oh, he's got a little pull on the E's, which I like. Yeah, I don't play this one with a lot of vibrato. I think it can be expressive with just a hair of it on certain notes, but it doesn't really need a lot of it. It all has to kind of sit at that same tempo. Even if you do push and pull, it's got to kind of be within context.
Hold on.
Some notes.
Losing it.
Some notes. I gotta give him points for this shirt, though. I mean, that's an excellent shirt. Let's hear it. This is gonna be good. I have a good feeling about this. Wow, that's slow. Okay. With some notes there. You picked up a little speed there. It's musical. Interesting.
And there we go.
Man, you guys are not making this easy on me. Alright, so, geez. This is gonna be a tough call for me. Okay, so Cameron played super musically. There was a little bit of a blip in that second figure, and he played a pretty consistent tempo. I mean, there was a little bit of motion speeding up. The figures that he was playing were all kind of sticking at that same tempo. It's a little slower than I would have taken it. However, it does sometimes get played this slow, so it's not, egregious. Time-wise, I would say he did much better than the other two did. I wouldn't say he did worse than Svend on intonation. I would say they're both, somewhere in the same boat. So we'll give them both like an 8. He and Svend both play a very good style. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have to deliberate a little bit. I've made some tallies here of how everybody did on their intonation, on their time, and on their style. And then I'm gonna have to announce a winner. It's always difficult. Yeah, gotta pick a winner. Okay, folks, we gotta pick a winner. And I have to admit, it was really interesting to watch my friends work through this excerpt to the best of their ability with only 5 minutes. And I actually kind of found it reaffirming in a way, in that it's not quite as simple as it might seem, and the hours that we as trombonists put in on this excerpt, it makes it worth it. You can't learn it in 5 minutes. That being said, we gotta pick a winner. So, Svend did a great job with the style. I thought he played very beautifully. I love his sound. It would sound even better if the mic was placed on axis
with a reasonable gain staging.
That being said, his sound is beautiful. His intonation was not too bad. The time was a little questionable. I remember that, yeah, each figure was like a different tempo than the last, so I'm gonna cut him for that. Skib did really well with the intonation. His style was a little conservative. If that was an audition situation, the first thing you play in the room, I think you should play with a bit of confidence. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that the winner is Cam, who played wonderfully today. There was a little bit of a clam on that second figure in your take, but you worked past it. It didn't derail the excerpts, and your tempo was like really solid all the way through. And honestly, like that's number one. So congratulations, Cameron. Great job to you, and I hope to see you all next week on our next Excerpt Challenge!